In a vast room filled with alien leaders, the Galactic Council gathered to discuss an urgent matter. The room was circular, with seats made of shimmering materials from different planets. Each council member represented a different race, each with unique features. Some had scales, others had fur, and a few had skin that glowed softly in the light. The atmosphere was tense as they faced a growing concern: humanity. Zarek, a tall alien with 4 arms and deep green skin, stood up first. He was the leader of the Vexari, a powerful race known for their advanced technology. "We must talk about the humans," he said, his voice echoing through the room. "They are spreading rapidly across the galaxy, and their actions are troubling." A murmur went through the council as members exchanged worried glances. From the back, a small alien with big blue eyes named Tila spoke up. "I have heard stories from our scouts. Humans show a shocking disregard for their lives. They charge into battle without fear. It is unlike any other species we know." The council members shifted uneasily in their seats. They were not accustomed to beings who faced danger so recklessly. Zarek continued, "We must understand their mindset. Why do they act this way? What drives them to fight so fiercely, even when the odds are against them?" Roran, a muscular alien with red skin and sharp horns, chimed in. "Perhaps they are not as intelligent as we thought. Maybe their fearlessness comes from ignorance." His words hung in the air, and the council considered this possibility. But Tila shook her head. "No, I believe it is more than that. Humans have shown they can strategize and adapt. They learn quickly and fight hard. We should not underestimate them." As the discussion continued, the council members shared stories of encounters with humans. Some spoke of fierce battles, while others recalled moments when humans acted selflessly to save their allies. Each story painted a picture of a species driven by a different set of values. Zarek listened carefully, his expression thoughtful. "We cannot ignore their bravery. If we let them grow stronger without understanding them, we might face serious consequences." He leaned forward, looking at each member of the council. "We must take action. I propose we send a delegation to Earth." This suggestion sparked excitement and fear. "What if they view us as a threat?" Roran asked, concern evident in his voice. "Humans can be unpredictable. They may attack us first." "They may," Zarek agreed, "but we must learn about them. An understanding could lead to peace. If we remain fearful, we will never know if they can be allies or enemies." The council debated for hours, weighing the risks and benefits of the mission. Finally, after much discussion, they reached a decision. They would send a small group to Earth to gather information and make contact with humanity. As the council meeting concluded, Tila felt a sense of dread. She was excited about the mission, but worried about what they would find. Humans were unlike any race she had encountered before. Their fierce spirit both fascinated and frightened her. In the days that followed, preparations began. The delegation would consist of Zarek, Tila, and a few other representatives from different races. They would travel to Earth to meet with human leaders and learn more about their culture. The night before their departure, Tila looked up at the stars. Each twinkle reminded her of the unknown. She wondered what awaited them on Earth. Would they find allies or enemies? As she contemplated the possibilities, she knew one thing for sure. The Galactic Council was stepping into a world filled with uncertainty. With this mission, they would soon discover whether humans were indeed a force to be reckoned with, or if their fearlessness hid deeper secrets. The journey would test their beliefs and challenge their perceptions, shaping the future of the galaxy in ways they could not yet imagine. The Council's fear lingered in the air, but so did a spark of hope. Perhaps understanding humanity could lead to something greater, something that could change the fate of the entire galaxy. The sleek spaceship of the Galactic Council glided through the stars, heading toward the blue and green planet known as Earth. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was a mix of excitement and tension. Zarek, Tila, and their companions, representatives from other races, were preparing for their first contact with humans. As the ship approached Earth, the crew members gathered around a large viewing screen. "Look at that," Tila exclaimed, pointing at the screen. The vibrant colors of Earth were breathtaking. Vast oceans sparkled under the sun, and lush green forests covered much of the land. Zarek nodded, his eyes narrowing as he took in the beauty of the planet. "This is where we will meet them." As the ship descended into the atmosphere, the representatives felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. They had heard stories of humans, but now they would see them face to face. The ship landed gently in a large open area surrounded by trees and mountains. They stepped out onto the soft grass, breathing in the fresh air. A group of humans was waiting for them. The humans appeared curious but cautious, standing a few steps away. Among them was a tall man with dark hair and an open smile. He stepped forward, extending a hand. "Welcome. I'm Captain James. We've been expecting you." Zarek took a moment to understand the gesture. He reached out, mimicking the human's handshake. "I am Zarek, leader of the Vexari. This is Tila, and we come in peace." Tila smiled warmly, hoping to ease the tension. The humans exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of wonder and skepticism. Captain James led the delegation to a nearby building. As they walked, Tila observed the humans. They were dressed in simple clothing and seemed relaxed, despite their earlier caution. She noticed how some humans chatted among themselves, pointing at the council members and whispering excitedly. Inside the building, the humans had set up a meeting room. The council members took their seats at a long table, while the humans filled in the seats across from them. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Tila could feel the weight of the moment. Captain James began the discussion. "We know little about you and your council. What do you want from us?" His directness surprised the council. Zarek replied, "We seek understanding. We have heard many stories of your bravery, but we need to know more about your culture and beliefs." The humans exchanged glances again, clearly interested but still cautious. "Bravery is a part of who we are," Captain James said, "but so is fear. We face many dangers every day, and we fight to protect what we love. We have lost many lives in battles, yet we continue to fight." Zarek listened closely. "You do not fear death?" he asked, trying to grasp the human perspective. Tila watched as Captain James leaned forward, his eyes bright. "We fear loss, yes, but we also understand that fighting for something greater can be worth the risk. Sometimes we must sacrifice to protect our people." The discussion continued, with humans sharing stories of their own heroes and the struggles they faced. Tila was fascinated by their tales. She learned about wars, victories, and the sacrifices made by individuals who believed in something larger than themselves. Each story painted a picture of a race willing to fight against overwhelming odds. As the hours passed, the council members began to relax. The humans were more open than they had expected. They laughed, shared jokes, and even played games together, showcasing their unique sense of humor. Tila felt a warmth grow in her heart. Perhaps these humans were not so different after all. However, as the sun began to set, the mood shifted. Captain James spoke more seriously. "We know the galaxy is filled with danger. We have faced threats from other species before. If you come here seeking alliance, you must understand that we will not back down from a fight." Zarek nodded, sensing the determination in the human's voice. "We admire your spirit, Captain. We too have faced many challenges. Together we can create a bond that could protect both our races." The day ended with a newfound respect between the two groups. As the council members returned to their ship, Tila felt a sense of hope. They had made progress, but the journey was far from over. What lay ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear: understanding each other would be the key to a powerful alliance. As the ship lifted off from Earth, the council members looked back at the planet. They had come seeking answers, but they were leaving with more questions. What other secrets did humanity hold? And would they be able to unite in the face of future threats? The sun rose over Earth, casting a warm glow across the landscape. Inside the Galactic Council ship, Zarek, Tila, and their companions prepared for another day of discussions with the humans. They were eager to learn more about each other, but little did they know that their bond would soon be tested in a way they never expected. As the council members gathered in the meeting room, Captain James entered, looking worried. "We have a situation," he said, his voice tense. "Our scouts have spotted a hostile alien ship approaching Earth. They're known for raiding planets and taking whatever they want. We must prepare for an attack." Zarek and Tila exchanged glances, their hearts racing. The danger was real, and they understood that time was short. "What do you need us to do?" Zarek asked, ready to help. Captain James nodded, appreciating their willingness. "We need all hands on deck. Humans are brave, but we'll need extra strength and intelligence to face this threat. We can't do it alone." Without hesitation, the council members agreed to assist. They had come to understand humans, and they respected their courage. "Let's work together," Tila said. We can share our technologies and strategies. As they moved quickly to prepare for battle, the atmosphere in the room shifted from fear to determination. Humans and aliens began to strategize side by side, each sharing their strengths. The humans brought their knowledge of Earth's terrain and their combat skills, while the council members offered advanced technology and unique abilities. Zarek and Captain James led the team, outlining the plan. They would split into groups to cover different areas around the landing site. Each group would be ready to defend against the incoming threat. Tila worked with a group of human soldiers, showing them how to use some of the Council's advanced weapons. The hours passed quickly as everyone prepared. Tila felt a rush of excitement mixed with fear. She was amazed at how quickly they had all come together. As the countdown to the enemy's arrival began, they took their positions, ready for whatever would come. Suddenly, alarms blared through the air. The enemy ship had appeared on the horizon, dark and menacing against the bright sky. Zarek's heart raced as he watched the massive ship approach. "Stay focused," he instructed his team, trying to calm their nerves. "We are ready for this." The enemy ship descended, and the air filled with tension. As it landed, soldiers poured out, armed with weapons that sparked with energy. They shouted war cries, and Tila felt her heart pounding. "Remember our plan!" Zarek shouted. "Stay together and watch each other's backs." The battle began. Humans and aliens fought side by side, each using their skills to protect one another. Tila moved quickly, her alien agility allowing her to dodge incoming fire. She watched as human soldiers displayed incredible bravery, charging at the enemy even when outnumbered. Their fearless spirit inspired her, and she fought harder, swinging her weapon with precision. In the midst of the chaos, Zarek and Captain James found themselves back to back, fighting off attackers from both sides. "You fight well, Captain!" Zarek shouted, blocking an enemy's strike. "Same to you," Captain James replied, firing his weapon with accuracy. Together, they pushed forward, driving the enemy back. Tila noticed one of the human soldiers struggling against a larger alien attacker. Without thinking, she leapt in, using her strength to push the enemy away. "Get up! We need to keep fighting!" she urged the soldier, who quickly regained his footing and joined her side. As the battle raged on, it became clear that teamwork was key. Each member, regardless of their race, contributed to the fight. The council members used their advanced technology to create shields, while humans provided support and strategy. Finally, after what felt like hours, the enemy began to retreat. The remaining soldiers scrambled back to their ship, clearly outmatched by the united force of humans and aliens. Cheers erupted as victory filled the air. Panting and exhausted, Tila turned to Captain James. "We did it! We fought together!" "Yes, we did," he replied, a wide smile on his face. "This is just the beginning of our alliance." As the council members and humans gathered to celebrate, Zarek felt a deep sense of pride. They had faced a threat together and emerged victorious. This experience had solidified their bond, and he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would tackle them side by side. In the days that followed, Tila and the council members shared stories of bravery and sacrifice. They realized that they had not only fought together, but had also created a friendship that would change the galaxy forever. The council members understood now that humanity's fearlessness was not just about facing death. It was about standing together, no matter the odds. The days after the battle were filled with hope and excitement. The Galactic Council and the humans had fought side by side, and now they were eager to deepen their bond. The victory had shown them the strength they could have together, but understanding each other was the next step. Zarek called a meeting in the council's ship. As they gathered, he noticed the smiles on the faces of both humans and aliens. "We have accomplished much," he began, his voice strong. "But now we must learn more about each other. Understanding our cultures will make us even stronger." Captain James nodded, sitting at the table with a thoughtful expression. "I agree. We come from different worlds, and yet we have fought together. Let's share our stories. It might help us understand each other better." Tila felt a sense of excitement in the room. "What if we held cultural exchanges? We could show each other our traditions, food, and values," she suggested. The humans and council members cheered at the idea. Each race had unique customs, and sharing them would create a deeper connection. Plans began to take shape. The humans would host the first event on Earth, inviting the council members to experience their culture. A few days later, the Galactic Council arrived on Earth, ready for the cultural exchange. As they landed, they were greeted by human families who had come to share in the celebration. Colorful decorations adorned the area, and the smell of delicious food filled the air. The first activity was a cooking demonstration. Humans showed the council members how to make traditional dishes. Tila was excited as she learned to prepare a classic Earth meal called tacos. The humans explained how each ingredient told a story, reflecting their history and values. Food brings people together, one of the chefs said. Zarek enjoyed the flavors of the tacos. "This is incredible! Your food has so much character," he remarked, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. Next, the council members shared their own culinary traditions. They prepared a dish called gelra, made with exotic fruits and spices from their home planet. The humans gathered around, eager to taste something new. As they tried the gelra, their eyes widened in surprise. "This is amazing! It's so different," one human exclaimed, smiling. After the cooking, the group moved on to storytelling. Humans shared tales of their heroes, legends of bravery, and the importance of family. The council members, in turn, spoke of their ancestors and how they valued strength and unity. The stories echoed with laughter and emotion, bridging the gap between two worlds. As the sun began to set, the atmosphere turned magical. The humans and council members sat together around a large fire. Tila looked around and felt a warmth in her heart. They were not just allies, they were becoming friends. Then Captain James stood up to propose a toast. "To friendship and understanding. May our differences strengthen us and our shared goals unite us." The group raised their cups in agreement, cheering and celebrating. As the evening continued, they began to dance together. Humans showed the council members their traditional dances, filled with energy and joy. At first, Zarek and Tila felt awkward, but soon they found themselves moving to the rhythm. They laughed and enjoyed the moment, realizing that they could learn from each other not just through words, but also through actions. As the night grew late, the conversations turned to deeper topics. Tila asked the humans about their fears and dreams. She learned that many humans feared losing their loved ones, while they dreamed of a future where everyone could live in peace. Zarek shared similar concerns from his own people, expressing the desire for security and safety. "Perhaps we can help each other with these fears," Tila suggested. "Together we can create a safer galaxy." The humans nodded in agreement, recognizing the wisdom in her words. They spoke about forming an alliance that would not just defend against threats, but also work together to promote peace and cooperation across the stars. As the night ended, Zarek felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The cultural exchange had opened their hearts and minds. They had learned that understanding each other's values and traditions was essential to their alliance. With every shared meal and story, they were building a foundation for a future filled with hope. In the days that followed, the bond between the Galactic Council and the humans grew stronger. They continued to share their cultures, learning from one another and paving the way for a united front against any threats. Zarek knew that this was just the beginning of a beautiful friendship, one that would change the galaxy forever. The stars twinkled brightly above Earth, a beautiful backdrop for a historic gathering. Representatives from the Galactic Council and human leaders met in a large hall filled with excitement and anticipation. They were ready to formalize a new alliance, one that would change the fate of both their worlds. As the meeting began, Zarek stood at the front of the room. He looked out at the diverse crowd, feeling a sense of pride swell in his chest. "Today marks a new beginning for both our races," he declared, his voice steady. "We have fought together and learned from each other. Now it is time to unite as one." Captain James stood beside Zarek, nodding in agreement. "This alliance is not just about defense, it is about cooperation and friendship. Together, we can create a future where both our peoples thrive." The room filled with applause as everyone expressed their enthusiasm for the new partnership. But not everyone was fully on board. In the back, a group of skeptics whispered among themselves. They were worried about trusting the humans, fearing they might become a burden instead of an ally. Zarek noticed the murmurs and decided to address the concerns directly. "I understand there may be doubts," he said, turning to the group, "but we have already witnessed the bravery and resourcefulness of the humans. We must trust in our shared strength." One of the skeptics, a council member named Oren, spoke up. "What if they turn on us? We must be careful not to show weakness." Captain James stepped forward, his expression serious. "We understand your concerns, Oren, but we have proven ourselves. We did not shy away from battle when danger came. We stood by your side. Trust is earned, and we are here to earn it. Zarek could see the tension in the room begin to fade. Slowly, more council members began to nod in agreement. The shared experiences had forged bonds of trust that could not easily be broken. The formal signing of the alliance agreement was next on the agenda. Representatives from both sides gathered at the table, where a large, glowing document awaited. It shimmered with energy, a symbol of their new partnership. Zarek and Captain James took turns signing the document. As they wrote their names, the crowd erupted in cheers. This was a moment of hope, a step toward a brighter future. They were no longer just two separate entities, they were now united in purpose. After the signing, the leaders took a moment to discuss their plans for the future. They talked about building joint training programs, sharing technology, and exploring new worlds together. Ideas flowed freely, with both sides contributing their knowledge and skills. One of the human leaders suggested, "Let's create a joint task force to deal with any future threats. If we work together, we can be ready for anything that comes our way." The council members agreed, excited about the possibilities. They recognized that a combined force would be much stronger than each race acting alone. The promise of shared knowledge and resources filled the room with energy. As the discussions continued, Tila stood quietly, observing the interactions. She felt a sense of joy as she watched both groups connect. They had come so far, and she knew they were on the brink of something incredible. As the meeting concluded, Zarek addressed the audience one last time. "Let us remember that our strength lies in our unity. Together, we will face any challenges that may arise. Let this alliance be a beacon of hope for all races in the galaxy." With those words, the crowd erupted into applause once more, filled with enthusiasm and determination. They were ready to embrace this new chapter together. In the days that followed, preparations began for joint training exercises. Humans and council members worked side by side, learning from each other. The shared knowledge built a stronger foundation for their alliance. The first training exercise was an enormous success. They practiced combat techniques, shared strategies, and even engaged in friendly competitions. Laughter and camaraderie filled the air, and the bonds between them grew deeper. As Tila watched the soldiers from both races working together, she felt a swell of pride. They had come from different worlds, but now they were like family. The alliance had not only strengthened their defenses, it had also enriched their hearts. Together, they stood united, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the universe. With courage, friendship, and trust, they had forged an alliance that would change the fate of the galaxy, setting a new standard for cooperation and understanding among all races. The future was bright, and they were excited to explore it together.